Hold on.
Welcome. Tell Kobe Brian be angry. Yes, because lovely. About 75%, 70% of the humans in our lake are fine. So we angry, man. We need to get it together. Okay, now, pleasant good morning. I want to welcome you all to Fort Fincastle. Welcome to Nassau. My name is Raquel, one of the tour guides here. I will tell you the basic history as you browse. If you have any questions, I want you to please feel free to ask. You can join in if you want to. Fort Fincastle was built in the year of 1793 by a British governor. His name was Earl Lord Dunmore. He was governor here to the island at that time. This fort was built in anticipation of a French invasion. The war between England and France, Napoleon was sent here, but he got defeated in the Battle of the Nile by Lord Nelson. So this fort never saw any action. The cannons at the back are not the original cannons. The original cannons were shipped back to England 1844 to 1859 during World War I, and they were replaced with modern cannons made of cast iron. The original cannons, however, were made of bronze. Bronze being very expensive, they decided to take those ones back. If the fort had seen any action, the first room right there, if you decide to enter, just watch your steps. It was meant for a prison. But since the fort never saw any action, never had any prisoners, the guards used that as a resting area. It took 50 soldiers to man this fort. That is where they stayed. The fort is made up of the main formation of this island, which is coral and limestone. Once it's wet, will produce the moisture. There are 2 holes on the inside. You can see straight through to the other side. Those are just ventilation holes that always keep the rooms very nice and cool. You may also notice that the fort has a ship shape. It's built to shape like an old paddle wheel steamer, but that was just to give off a disguise to intruders or invaders that it was a wrecked ship on land. Now once you're done, you'll move on. You can have a look on the inside, just watch your steps, pretty good prop.
Did you say 50 hung out in here?
Sir. They work a
1, 2,
12-hour
3,
day
4, 5,
shift,
6, 7, 8,
25 resting, 25 manding. Now back then, in terms of rest, just to get a load off. Because right down at the barracks, right down in the area of the hospital, they had the barracks there where they would have really gotten their rest. So it was just to get a load off.
Oh, okay.
Hi. Yes. Once you exit, make a left, gray building back. Once you're done, just watch your steps as you exit. Tight step. No, it's there. I was trying to write it off. That's fine. Okay, the second little area here known as a heating furnace or shot furnace. This is where they heated all the cannonballs really hot before they're placed into those cannons. Cannonballs were not explosives and they did not have wicks back then. What they had was a wetting of sponge called a wad. The wad was dampened in water, then placed on the inside of the cannons next to the gunpowder. Then that red hot heated cannonball was removed with the cannon tongue and placed next to the wad. You see, the wad was placed there just to give the guards enough time to move out of the way before they were fired. And back then the ships were wooden ships. So all they did was create hot shots and great balls of fire. Once the cannons were fired, they would go about 1.75 miles, which is equal to about 3,000 yards. Now looking over, you may say, you know what? I don't think they could reach. But what you have to know is back then, the water came as far as Bay Street by Parliament Square where the pink government buildings are.
Oh.
Back then, the water came thus far. So if they were fired, then they would have been able to reach. Now, back then it took
So much for
anywhere from
global
20
warming.
to 22 men to move those cannons from side to side. Today, it can take just one strong man. The third room here at the end, this is the fort's most protected room. It's known as a powder magazine. This is where they stored all the gunpowder and artillery that was needed to man those cannons. Hold up at the head, guys. Watch your heads.
I don't want to light a match in here to see where you're at. Where am I?
Let me see the gunpowder in the corner.
That's right.
Oh.
Which corner? Strike.
Everybody but.
Okay, now once you get up to the very top, this is where you'll get the beautiful view of Nassau and Paradise Island. When you get up there, the tall white structure that you would see is our water tower. The water tower is the tallest and highest point on this island, and it stores 80,000 gallons of water for this entire area. That's closed for renovation, so once you get on top of Fort Fincastle, you will be on the second highest point. Ladies and gents, watch your steps going up. Use the guardrails provided. Any questions, I'll be right here when you're done. Enjoy. Okay, watch your steps, you're welcome. Watch your steps going up. But when you guys come back down, I'll take family shots by the kids, okay?
Thank you. I don't know. I think we could hit one of those cruise ships with some hot shot.
Yeah. 300 gallons. No, 3,000 gallons. It's range for that shot.
Well, let's point it over towards the cruise ships. Oh, sweet. I'm not in a good spot here. Are you ready? Push. 1, 2, 3, push.
Oh.
All right.
Just gonna take a picture.
That's far enough.
Yeah. That's enough work, right?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Take one more.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Thank you. This is very cool.
Any questions? No, yes, but during the time of piracy, you would have had 4. Now that's another fort on the island, but it was destroyed, so now our hotel is on the landmark. You see when you get up to the top hill there, the red shoes, that's the flag. The wide was at the top because it sits on a line of that's where Fort Nassau was. So during the time of piracy, you would have had Woods Rogers, and that's
And then this
the
was
area.
later. This was like a little after that.
Well, because that was the entrance to the harbor, all of the pirates would have they captured Fort Nassau first.
Oh,
So it was built, but it was during the time of piracy with Fort Nassau. So the fort has been since destroyed, it burned down. Now some say from the pirates, and some say it was just an accidental burning. So, you know. But during that time, Fort Nassau.
Oh, so they could be buried treasure.
Yeah.
Welcome once again, folks. My name is Phil, like your driver said, and for you? Okay, it could be a one-way trip down. For you to decide to walk down, you won't have to come back up. And if you do, please watch your step on the way down. Your driver would prefer to meet you by the hospital, not in the hospital, okay? Unlike you, I don't go down. We have a saying the island. See, I might be lightning struck, but I ain't fooled. I mean, look at it. For a guy on a stunt bike, motorbike, even a skateboard, that's a good ride. In this wheelchair, that's suicide. You go down as passenger and come back as freight. But of course, folks, you are looking at the Queen's Staircase and all of this. 90 feet deep at the highest point, 50 foot wide, some 200 yards in length. This was once all solid rock, carved out by slave labor, whereas it took about 600 slaves brought in from West Africa. They worked 18 hours a day with chisels, hammers, and rock saws. They hand carved the entire canyon that we see here, mainly to be used as the escape route in the event the fort to the top was ever attacked and overthrown. The governor, along with his soldiers, would have used this as an escape route or an easy getaway. From that fort, they would go underground to the bottom of the staircase here, straight out to the Bay Street waterfront, where they would have their ship there fully rigged and ready to sail. If I could break that down for you. Back in the 17th century, just like post-England or France, in order to control England or France, you would have to have the king or the queen. Well, in the islands here, the governor represented the king or the queen. So if you wanted the island, you would have to have the governor. And if you've got the governor, you've got the island. This actually dates back to Columbus's first landfall. Columbus's first landfall was under Spanish flag. He could not get a second voyage from Spain, so in turn he went to England. England gave him his second voyage. Soon after, England, France, and Spain went to war over who the actual Caribbean islands belonged to. So what they did was, they fortified the islands. They placed their governors there. All right, this is my fort, this is my governor, therefore this is my island. They in turn also hired privateers, or let's just say legalized pirates. What they would do is kidnap the governor and sell him. Yes, if he was Spanish, sell him to the English. Being English, sell him to the French. Open market, vice versa. Now it is called the Queen's Staircase. Under Queen Victoria's rule, slavery was abolished in the entire English-speaking Commonwealth in 1838. If we could date some 4 years prior to that, in 1834, with the help of persons like a Mr. William Wilberforce, a Mr. John Newton, the author of Amazing Grace, they were two of the main spearheads during the signing of the Apprenticeships Act. The Apprenticeships Act was mainly a 4-year trial period. For 4 years, they tried to, shall we say, steer those soon-to-be freed slaves into self-governance, just as well as freedom. Queen Victoria became sole heir to the English throne in 1837. Her first official act as Queen of England was the abolition, or shall we say the abolition of slavery in the entire English-speaking Commonwealth in 1838, called the Proclamation of Emancipation, which was signed the 12th of August, 1838. However, each first Monday in August, we celebrate Emancipation Day, which is a public holiday. And that's mainly in the city section. In the Eastern District, they don't celebrate until a week later. They didn't get the news until a week later. So for the kindness she had done in that era, those freed slaves residing here, they wanted to do something to say thank you to her. So they returned to this canyon and carved out these stairs in honor, thus giving it the name the Queen's Staircase. Locals call it the 66 steps. If you to count them, you'd only count 65. Let's just say mathematically they were challenged, okay? The brick steps, they're not the originals. The originals are 3 inches below, and like the rocks that combine islands, the originals being a combination of coral and limestone. The coral consists of moisture. With vegetation, you have plants growing out of the sides of the rocks, also moss growing on the rocks. Once wet, they could be very slippery. The limestone only consists of dirt, very soft, very sandy. Notice the white gaps throughout the canyon itself. The limestone, going back to its original origin, mainly sand. So like I said, what the Bahamas government did, not only to preserve the original steps, they replaced them that none of our lovely visitors or natives might slip, slide, or collide, but arrive alive. If you had, you don't have far to go, because the hospital is straight ahead. All we ask is you don't stop to the bottom, you can just roll right in.
So it was one of the original island's water slides.
Huh?
One of the original water slides.
Oh, most definitely. As a matter of fact, like I was saying, this is the Queen's Staircase and the King's Slide is on the other side. The colors on our national flag, folks: aquamarine, gold, and black. Designed, of course, to represent the Bahamas, the strength and unity of its people. Like the aqua at the top of the flag, it represents our skies when there's no bad weather. The lowest in temperature we've ever had, 41 degrees. They made it a national holiday. Everybody came out looking like Eskimos. Yep, we don't do cold. Anything lower than 41 degrees Fahrenheit, we hibernate.
Excuse me.
The aqua at the bottom, our crystal clear waters that surround each of the islands. We have no poisonous snakes. Our sharks are vegetarians. Yeah, right. It is not
Remember that.
But I took my foot for a carrot. Gold at the middle is for the warm tropic sun. Unlike your four seasons, our four seasons are mainly early summer, this summer, late summer, and next summer. We also have an overpopulated 40,000 and counting native dogs. Yep, we call them pot cakes because that's usually what they eat. The last of the pot, you'd call it the leftovers. We got them all. Bingo, Barney, Pretty Boy, Floyd, Chicken George. Everybody's got a dog. My dog's name's Lucky. He's just lucky to be with dog. We got them on sale today. Buy one, get four free. And the black, of course, folks, represents the strength and unity of our kind, friendly, courteous, generous, hardworking, humble, considerate, peaceful, smart, clever, intelligent, well-loved, well-respected, extremely good-looking, unique, ever-cooking, enterprising, modest, God-fearing people of the Bahamas. I was talking about your driver. Actually, I was born in Japan, man. I'm just kidding, of course. Personally, I've never been to America. As a matter of fact, the closest thing I've come from here is Paradise Island. That's across the harbor there, and boy, was that a long swim. My brother, however, more of the traveling out of our family. He's been all over the U.S. He even won a scholarship to go to Penn State. Instead, he wound up in your state's penitentiary.
Oh, don't come back up, folks. Go straight out. Go straight out. Yeah, go straight out.